catch, a contested catch, all the way to the 40-yard line.
Couldn't be any better coverage, and somehow he gets that into Skowronek to give him a chance, and Skowronek fights him for that football.
Under a minute. 32-yard, 35, 34, 33. Mayfield throws. That's caught. That's a first down. Here's Skowronek to the 22. Now Mayfield gets up there. He's got to spike it here. 2nd and 10. Mayfield to the end zone to Jefferson. Is that possible? Touchdown. This is impossible. They go 98 yards.
Baker Mayfield hates the Detroit Lions. Fuck that guy. This is interesting to see. A daily sports podcast news narrative takes gambling. General internet consensus is what we're in the business of today. And if you can see on your screen, there's Baker Mayfield hitting Van Jefferson from like 20 yards out. The Rams go 98 yards with one timeout and score a touchdown with 9 seconds left. It's Football Friday. Welcome in. Got some football, but we're going to start with women's professional basketball. Because if you're like me, you had notifications in social media blowing up with news and then all of the takes. Brittney Griner was swapped. She was not released from prison. She was released from a Russian prison in exchange for something named Viktor Bout, a.k.a. the Merchant of Death, who's wanted in, according to a source on TikTok, a dozen countries or so, including apparently most notably Liberia, Colombia, and Thailand. He is an arms dealer, an illegal arms dealer. And if you're wanted in Thailand and Colombia, I have a guess who your clientele is. But, you know, the hell do I know? I'm just a dude. So Brittney Griner is released, and, of course, all of the news media, it's just takey-taker day. So the first thing is that everyone's like, yeah, Merchant of Death versus this woman who had a THC cartridge with her. Yeah. Not a fair trade. However, the conspiracy theory is that this Victor person is just going to get locked up somewhere else. Putin can't give him asylum, apparently. But also, that means Putin's going to give him asylum. So the next thing is that there was a Marine, apparently. I don't know the details, but I do know that this is just so great for the internet because all of the people who are like, I just think that we're missing our core values. We're losing ourselves. Those people are going to be like, this is a bad trade. And all the people who are like super woke are like, this is a good trade. Brittney broke the law. They made an example out of her because she is a gargantuan woman. She's black and she's gay and she's American. It's very easy to piss us off like this because we know for a fact that Russia likes to sow the seeds of racial divides in America. Could not have fathomed a better person to have just wander into their spider web than Brittney Griner. And low key, high key, off key, not everyone who you would think would be on board with, yeah, get Brittney home was on board with it. Micah Parsons, who's going to be like the defensive player of the year for the Dallas Cowboys, the Penn State linebacker, now kind of like off-ball pass rush linebacker for the Cowboys, was like, Brittney Griner for the Merchant of Death? No. That's not what we want. Doesn't seem like a fair trade. I don't know or care. I just, like, listen, the government's going to do what the government's going to do. If this was shameless politicking, I think that it would have been better served like 6 months ago when the elections were coming down the pike. Now, I don't know. Maybe it was the right thing to do. Again, I don't know or care. I didn't get arrested. You know, and I think anybody that has too strong a take on this is too close to the situation. What are you opinionated on? Is it shitty that a Marine is locked up in Russia? Yeah. Should we get him out of there? Yeah, for sure. I really don't know what else to say about it. You know, and everybody's going to have takes. Okay, let's move on to Tom Brady. This model who has been kicked off of Instagram for pushing the limits of what naked is coming after Tom Brady and coming after him. She's suing him? No, she wants to jump his bones, man. And she is She's shooting her shot. So we're scrolling through her stuff there. Here she is. Let's see. This is from BarstoolSports.com. There she is. If somebody asks me again if I love Brady, yes, I love him. And show me somebody who doesn't. Even his haters love him because they know he's the GOAT football heart at Tom Brady. Thank you for an amazing show. Let's scroll through these. Look at her. There she is in her Tom Brady stuff. Brady, McBrady pants. So Brady's getting back out there, allegedly. And the comment section of this seems to suggest that where there's smoke, there's fire. But what the hell do I know? What the hell do I know? Okay, let's get into football. Last night, Sunday Night Football. I swear to God, once, twice, 3 times a year or so, I am on the mic talking shit on a Notre Dame player who just fucking blew it. It just blew it in the stupidest way to make you question, like, oh, there are academic standards for athletes. No, apparently not. Remember about a year and a half ago, Chase Claypool ruined the Steelers' comeback. And then last year, Ben Skowronek got hit in the face with multiple Stafford home runs. Well, last night, Ben Skowronek played out of his mind. Baker Mayfield, who was claimed off of waivers by the Rams, ended up playing in the game. They gave John Wolford one series, and they put Baker in. They're just like, hey, just go sling it around. The Raiders, which we'll talk about in a second, just let it happen. Then, I don't know, like 5 minutes left to turn it on, 16-3. The Raiders are playing bad, but the Rams suck, whatever. Rams get a touchdown. Like, okay, it took a long time for them to score the touchdown. Rams have some timeouts. The Raiders get 1 first down. It's good. They have the Offensive Player of the Year, Devontae Adams, and also the Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Jacobs. They have the Defensive Player of the Year, kind of, top 3, and Max Crosby. They have Jerry Tillery, who's good. Oh, yeah. This is about talking shit on Notre Dame guys. So who is it? Jerry Tillery when he got claimed. Yes. So, around midfield, on the Rams side of the 40, remember, they have to go 98 yards in about 2 minutes with 1 timeout. And I think a 2-minute warning. 98. Baker Mayfield has not been on the team before. Their receivers are Van Jefferson and Ben Skowronek. Okay, so they get a couple passes. It's whatever. It's fine. Raiders just trying to keep it in bounds. Max Crosby comes off the edge, gets a sack. Celebrating. Tillery, who's had a great game and has been an awesome addition for the Raiders. About 3 seconds after the whistle blows and everyone's about ready to spot the ball, right as Baker was handing the ball to a ref, he swats it out of the Baker's hands and swats it on the ground. And then unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was called. So instead of a loss of like 8 and 2nd and 18, it's a gain of 15 and an automatic first down. And the clock stops for a moment. Bro. Then they go down, and Baker, about 20 yards out, hits that shot to Van Jefferson. Unbelievable. And like I said, Baker hates the fucking Lions. If the Rams lose this game and some other things happen, the Rams are going to essentially be locked into a top 5 pick, perhaps a top 3 pick, which belongs to your Detroit Football Lions. Now, with the Rams 4-9, they could win another game this year, and that pick could be 8 or 9, which is a big deal because there are 3 mega prospects. Alabama, Georgia. That's all you need to know right now. Quarterback, defensive end, defensive tackle. Eat shit, Baker. Okay, let's get into the weekend preview. As far as college goes, there's one game. I don't know if that's actually true. There might be more college football, but there's one big one. That game is your United States Naval Academy against your United States Army. From what I understand, Navy are wearing something to do with space, and Army are wearing something to do with, actually, I don't know, but I think one of them is doing space outfits. Yeah, I like calling them outfits. Shouts to my friend Callie. Army, Navy uniforms, 2022. Yeah, so, whoa, those are sick. The Olive Army and Navies are going to be the space stuff. Wow, that's good. Again, always sick. Their uniforms for this game are always sick. It's going to be fun. I don't know where it's going to be played. I don't know what the spread is. I don't know who's good. I like coming into this game knowing that, like, literally it's going to be the 2 teams going against each other, like, that do the same thing, same people. Singing of the alma maters is the number 1 tradition in college football. It's going to be great. Okay, NFL time. Let's go into FanDuel, the official sportsbook. Just kidding. I wish I had a sponsor. That'd be sick. Okay. Actually, I don't know or care. The game of the weekend, there are a couple big ones. The Bills and Jets is a big game of the weekend. The Giants and the Eagles is on paper, but I don't know that there's anything going on. The big storyline this week is 6 teams are on bye. That's because no teams are on bye during Thanksgiving, and that's because there are 3 Thursday games on Thanksgiving. So in order to have a full Sunday slate, they have to have some teams not having a bye. It's a big weekend for people to stay home and watch football, so you want to capitalize on that, et cetera, et cetera. So the games of the weekend are Lions, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Eagles, Giants, and then the Bengals we're watching. It's interesting. Like, are the Titans for real? The Jaguars can beat the Titans. But the interesting thing is that the Vikings are underdogs on the road against Detroit. And that line's been moving around. It's been as high as 3. It's been as low as, right now it's minus 1.5, which makes me think that Vegas thinks the Lions are going to win. The Lions were within 4 points of the Vikings the first time. The Vikings, while being 10-2, are the worst 10-2 team of all time, and they use that on EPA, which is a stat that just combines their stats to create a model. And also point differential. How many more points they've scored than given up. They did get their ass kicked by like 1,000 by the Cowboys, which I think is probably why that is the case. The over-under is 51.5. I like Detroit to win. I'm a Lions fan. I don't really know. I mean, they almost won the first time. They probably should have, and now they've got a bunch of better players that are healthy. The Bills are 10-point favorites against the Jets. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Mike White for the New York Jets is not like, I don't know. We've been predicting the Mike White game, the collapse for a while. Steelers are favored against the Ravens, which is fascinating. Lamar Jackson is out. Also, Kenny Pickett has been playing pretty well, which is really interesting to me. And, yeah, I kind of like that game. Eagles-Giants narratives for this game, none. Just, are the Giants for real? They're not. We knew that they could lose 3 in a row. That's looked like what's going to happen. I know that they lost 4 in a row, but they were going to go 0-3-1. They lost to Detroit. They lost to Dallas. They tied Washington, and now they're going to lose to Philly. So they're going to come back down to earth, which is where they belong, and they're going to have screwed up their draft status, and maybe they like Daniel Jones. Bengals 5.5-point favorites against the Browns in the battle for Ohio. The really interesting thing about this game right here is that Browns are 5-0 against the Bengals in the last 5 meetings. Like, in the way that the Bengals own Mahomes and Reed, the Browns kind of own Burrow. I think he's only played in 3 of those games, but that's still 0-3, dude. And the last one was insanely bad. I think it was like, I think they got shut out. It was a disaster. Tennessee got their ass kicked in Philadelphia. The John, whatever his name is, the GM for Tennessee got fired. Jacksonville got their ass kicked in Detroit. Who's for real? Who wants it? Doug Peterson and Mike Vrabel are, in my opinion, are the 2 best coaches in NFL football right now. They're at the top of their game. I mean, it's going to be – I think that's a fun game to watch. That used to be a game I would make fun of, but there are a bunch of good players, and I kind of like that game now. Texans at Cowboys. Man, I bet Jarrow was really excited when saw this game on the schedule 2 years ago, and they thought about doing promotional material, and now everyone's like, Jesus Christ. Chiefs and Broncos are going to play a game of football, I guess. Big Chiefs are big favorites. Who cares? Panthers on the road in Seattle. I kind of like the Panthers in this game. I don't know why. I think the Seahawks are also semi-fraudulent. Bucks and Niners. Niners are good. Bucks are bad. Dolphins and Chargers. So the Sharks are swirling for Brandon Staley. We've been Brandon Staley truthers on this show. You guys have joined me in that for years. I think that this will be the game that kind of cements it. They're going to get killed. The Dolphins are favored on the road by 3.5. So, I mean, they're going to get crushed. That's the night game. It's going to be ugly. And then the Patriots and the Arizona Cardinals are the Monday night game, which, what the fuck? Monday night games are flexible now. I don't know which ones and which weeks. I should look that up. But we got to get that out of there. We got to fix this. We have to rectify this. Best bets of the weekend. I like Detroit to cover the spread, especially because it's moving down, which means they have to cover less. It also makes me think that this is what smart money does. The line opens up, and then Vegas will get a bunch of people like, oh, the Lions. And then the line will move down, and then Detroit has to cover fewer points. I also like the Bills to cover against the Jets. That's my favorite. If I had to pick an underdog, let's see Jacksonville, easy. My plus 3.5. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Underdog to win outright. Man, nothing here I like, because I don't like underdogs that are +1 is not enough for me. I need them to be plus something else, like +2. Like Jacksonville's plus 168. That's not enough. Houston is plus 1,300 against the Cowboys. Do not bet the Cowboys outright. Holy shit, minus 3,000. I guess my favorite underdog of the week would be Tampa Bay. Brady could be mad. You never know. They do have a really good roster. For some reason, they suck at football. If you parlayed these 4 bets for $5, you'd win $84. Lions to cover, Bills to cover, Jags to cover, Bucks to win outright. That seems completely possible. Don't do parlays. That's how you lose your money, folks. That's how you lose your money. Got a lot of storylines from this week. I hope I catch up on them next week. Hugh Freeze stealing quotes from his baseball coach at Ole Miss. Talk about that. The Giants are exploring new turf for MetLife Stadium. And Desmond Ridder. It's the bye week for the Falcons. Desmond Ridder will be the starter when they come back, the rookie out of Cincinnati. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Back and better than ever on Monday.